Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Well, just to let everybody know, everything with Snowman in the Morning is getting a little bit of a tweak. It's an update that is ongoing and should be completed by the end of the month. There are a couple of more openings that need to be updated. They will get updated, but everything should be done, as I said, by the end of the month. Speaking of updates, here's an update of a friend of mine's segment, and I'm finally glad to have him back after I couldn't get everything together health-wise and couldn't get everything together emotional-wise. But thank you all for sticking with me, and I want to thank this man for sticking with me also. Jay Spivey joins us this morning. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
Okay. We've had so much time to talk. I finally got everything together, and I'm so glad you've been patient with me to stick with me and come on. So I'll lead with this, and I'll let you have the floor. Why is there dispute for the WNBA Rookie of the Year?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I think again it comes down to race. I know we don't.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't want to talk about this, but I think a lot of it comes down to race.
It does.
You look. I am not at all discounting at what Angel Reese has done this season. She's had a really good season so far.
Mm-hmm.
We still got about 14, 15 games to go after the Olympic break. But, I mean, on and off the court, and I know a lot of people say you can't count off the court, but what Caitlin Clark has done for this league, you just cannot even put into words what she's meant for this league.
You can't measure what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA, and I've made the contention, and you've heard me say it, and I've texted this to you, that she should be the unanimous Rookie of the Year.
I don't think it should be any question in my mind. And to me, I know we've had this argument. I keep hearing a lot of people say it. She and probably Angel Reese and probably Agumawale should both be on this. Should all three be on this team?
Absolutely.
Team. And then after Saturday night, when they just put a butt kicking on the Olympic team, I mean, you can argue they're a better team overall.
The Team WNBA put up 117 points against Team USA. 117 points. I would say that's unheard of, but again, you're talking about an all-star game, and the WNBA selected the best of the best, and they lit up Team USA in Phoenix.
And a lot of it was motivation because 2, if not 3 of the people on the WNBA All-Star team had a really good argument that they should be on the Olympic team.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned them, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and Arika Agumawale.
And they've certainly performed that way.
I mean, Agumawale, let's start there. 34 points in the second half. 34 points. She was rightly named the All-Star Game MVP. But again, it's so many people outside of the WNBA that think they know what they're talking about when they follow the league. And yes, I'm going to call a couple people out, but they don't get it. They just don't get it, man.
No, they don't. It's just, if you just forget race, I know it's hard to do that. Just forget race. Look out on the court. It's obvious who's having a better season. And a lot of it is, at least early on in the season, the Fever were not very good. They've improved dramatically in the last 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, they have.
They're a totally different team.
And don't be surprised if they wind up being one of the top 4 seeds, because that's how well they are playing right now.
That's very possible. And I know she probably doesn't like this, but she might end up being better after the break just because she could get some rest.
Yeah.
She's going up getting about 3 or 4 weeks rest here.
And the WNBA doesn't like the fact that Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever have figured it out after that horrendous start.
Well, the WNBA, like a lot of times, they balloon all this, and the U.S. Olympic team has ballooned this too. They're not
Mhm.
using this at all to their advantage. Not at all. I mean, I
Nope.
know I'm not a jersey person. I don't buy jerseys and stuff like that. I don't do stuff like that. But I
Right.
saw a stat the other day where she's outpaced any other jersey sale in WNBA 23-1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a lot of money she's pumping into the league.
Yep.
And it's not just jersey sales; it's eyes on games. It's certainly every game is sold out she plays in,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to lose that this week, the next 2 weeks in the Olympics, because for some stupid reason you chose not to put her on the team. When you know everybody at NBC, and let's face it, NBC controls the Olympics, whether it's an American version or
Yep.
not.
Yep. They do.
They're going to talk
They
about
do.
her. Why is she not on the team? Would she be better off on the team? Blah, blah, on and
Mm-hmm.
on and on.
Yep. Yep. Some people say she would be great as as a member of Team USA. I happen to lean toward that argument. There are others that say nope, she's not ready, which is baloney to me.
How do you not say that? The year that she's had this year so far,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I honestly, I think she would be better on a better team.
Yeah.
Because really, Aaliyah Boston's really her only. I mean, there's a few good players for the Fever, but nothing like Aaliyah Boston's really the best player other than her on the team.
And they're starting to figure it out together. And something
And they
I've
have
often there's something I've often said, and you've been with me as I've said, they're a frightening pick and roll duo. If the rest of the players can figure out where the hell they need to go on the offense, this is a team that can average at least 90 points a game.
If they can do what they've done in 6 weeks and develop the chemistry that they've clearly developed, what are they going to do the rest of the season and however many other years they play together?
Right.
And if they get some other pieces around them in the next couple of years, as they should, I mean, they're going to be scary.
They're scary right now.
Her Caitlin Clark's passing ability, I know she's had some turnovers, but a lot of it's just these women aren't expecting the balls to come to them.
Mm-hmm.
Her passing ability and the way she sees the court is just unbelievable to me.
You know what someone said in a title on their live stream, and I know you're going to get such a kick out of this. The live stream, and I'm paraphrasing here, said Caitlin Clark is a stat patter also. In defending the arguments that I've made that Angel Reese was stat padding. Now I didn't do that video yet, but I'm going to today. But how can you accuse someone of stat padding when the fellow rookie is stat padding also? If you want to look at it that way, then all of the best people are stat padding. Don't you think so?
I agree. But I don't see that. I mean, probably haven't seen all of them because of some work issues, but I've seen the majority of her games with the Fever so far this season. I don't see that at all. I just don't see it at all.
I don't see it also. It is not a case of stat padding. It's the fact that Caitlin Clark knows how to play the game of basketball.
She does.
Period. It's the fact that Caitlin Clark can see the floor in a way no other person can. Period. It's a fact that her teammates need to learn how to catch the ball and recognize when the passes are coming their way. Because if they did that against Dallas, they're walking away with a double-digit win.
I think the hardest thing for her is that she has this basketball mind and has the ability to see the court and sees everything on a swivel. When I think she gets frustrated when her teammates don't have that same ability to have that.
Yep.
You can see all areas of the court and have your head on the swivel. I just think she gets frustrated by that.
And people call that her not being a good teammate. What?
That's just BS.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And she's even said, "Look, I'm just frustrated because we're trying to get it together, and something stops us from getting it together." I don't
ask her former teammates at Iowa what they think about that stupid statement.
Well, we already know the answer to Iowa. We already know the answer to that. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a stupid argument for Angel, and You know, I'll say something that you said this morning, and we got to go early. It's about race. They want to make it about race. They want to keep it about race. And because they want to keep it about race, that's why so many people are looking for Angel Reese to be Rookie of the Year. Monica McNutt, hello.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard her say that last week. And I mean, not that I'm a Twitter monger or anything else, but I see it all the time where people say that it should be a no-brainer. Angel Reese is Rookie of the Year. What game are you watching?
Dawn Staley said the same thing.
I saw that.
Dawn Staley. The
And
head
I
coach
think
of the recent national champions said that.
I'm going to go back to what I said and what you just said. It all goes to race.
And no one wants to say it out loud. We'll say it out loud. It's all about race when it comes to rookie.
Even coaches don't want to admit it. I mean, Dawn Staley is clearly a great coach and one of the best players this country's ever had.
Absolutely.
Without question.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't go on and say that.
You know something, and you can't, if you're Angel Reese, you can't embarrass yourself in the ways that you've embarrassed yourself off the court. No one wants to say that aloud either except us. I'll say it again. Angel Reese, you have embarrassed yourself off the court in ways you shouldn't be embarrassing yourself.
Right.
It's a total what you do off the court represents the league, and what you do on the court represents the league. And right now, it's all Caitlin Clark and nobody else. Period.
I want to, and you're right. I want to go back to something I said earlier about the jersey sales.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the WNBA and probably Team USA will never admit this, but if you watch the All-Star game Saturday night, and I was lucky enough to have because what I was supposed to do Saturday night in terms of work was rained out, and it's totally dependent on weather. So anyway, I watched the game, and they said at halftime the WNBA All-Star team changed uniforms, and they said it was because they were sweating so much.
Yeah.
I don't believe that for a second.
Nor do I.
I believe they want to have both versions of the the WNBA uniform to sell more 22 jerseys.
Yep.
And the 22 jerseys are just selling off the racks.
And they're going to keep selling off the racks.
I don't believe for a second that they changed because they're sweating so much.
Nope. I don't buy it. I don't buy it either. I do not buy it either.
When have you ever seen teams change their completely different uniform at halftime?
At halftime.
Now you see teams change uniforms, but not into a completely different uniform.
But not into a completely different uniform. I mean, most NBA players go through two jerseys, but it's the same jersey. These are completely different uniforms.
I just don't. That's just come on. I've been through that way. No way. I'm not that stupid. I'm not that stupid.
Same.
They wanted to sell some more 22 jerseys.
Mm-hmm. And they did. I'm not going to say they probably did. They did.
Well, you looked at the crowd. I mean, she doesn't play anywhere near Phoenix for her home game. You look at that crowd. There was nothing but 22 jerseys in the crowd.
Nothing but. Iowa and Indiana were represented.
That's all it is.
All right, we got to go. Jay Spivey joining us here on the program. Jay, I appreciate you being patient with me. I love you. We'll do it again next Monday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.